Hello. I'm on a different mic. Can you hear me all right? Does that sound okay?
Yep.
All right. Um, this is a song that was originally by Peter Berryman of Wisconsin in the United States. Anybody know Peter's music? Yeah, oh, there's one, two, few. And I say originally because when I did my farewell concert tour a couple of years ago, I wanted to do this song and I contacted Peter and he graciously allowed me to rewrite it some so it was a little more about me, and that's the version I'm going to do. Bob, it's no good living in the past, they say, even though there's more of it every day. But I don't talk much about what I've been through. Then again, I probably do. Love confused me way back when, now everything does. Acid made my head spin, now everything does. I remember English Bay the way it was. You took my breath away, now everything does. Bob, looks like you got a case of future shock. It's no good wishing you could reset the clock. But I wouldn't do that even if I could. Then again, I probably would. Summers used to go too fast, now everything does. Cowboys rode out up past, now everything does. Oh yeah. I recall our first TV the way it was. It looked blurry to me, now everything does. It's not like everything has changed, I know. It's just the same old, only more so. And I'm not some old guy stuck in 1970. Then again, could be. Flashlights needed batteries, now everything does. Carpets came from overseas, now everything does. Bowling had a special shoe, now everything does. These things make me think of you, now everything does. These things made me think of you, now everything does.
Yay! Yay!
Thank you, Bob, for that bittersweet start to the evening. Over to David Kidman, and am I right in saying that Pelagie is there as well?
Hi, Amanda.
Yeah, okay, so if you could go after David, that's great. And then after you, it will be Graham Baldwin.
Thank you.
Fine, right. Are we all muted?
She's muted everyone.
Great, because I can't see that on this tablet. That's what happens when you're borrowing tablets. Doctor's orders. Right, I know it's December and I know it's Advent, but I won't be too adventurous. I'll do something slightly Yeah, it's seasonal. It's a song by Steve Ashley, which was written almost exactly 10 years ago. It has a refrain. Out into the bitter wind those leaves of autumn blow, heralding the icy days of winter. For the summer blooms are withered thin, and soon the gap will go, and render all those sturdy stalks to tinder. The light is in the windows, the heat's behind the door, faster now the meters spin, and every time the wind blows it rattles in the poor hearts, fearful of the bills those heaters bring. And in those flames a truth is plain. There will be pain, there will be pain. By the torment of an empty glass, an old and weathered hand is measuring the remnants of a pension. In memory of a time long past, this proud old working man reflects upon a life too hard to mention. The fight for health and welfare, peace and jobs for all, a chance for kids to learn and thrive. But now he sees the selfish put families to the wall, and he wonders how they'll manage to survive. He knows their game, and he makes this claim. There will be pain, there will be pain. In silken threads from Savile Row and finest leather shoes, a lucky man is driving with his chauffeur. Unto his hallowed hall they go, and when he's ushered through, he falls into the comfort of his sofa. He follows all the market talk, the holdings and his shares. Hedge and ditch he knows them well. Then he swallows from his glass with an independent air, so careless of the stories that they tell. And they tell it plain that once again there will be pain, there will be pain. In the alleys of the Sink estates they hear those sirens howl, amid the smack and crack of winter's fury. And like galley slaves they know their fate is fear by cheek and jowl, and they know they'll never bring the case to jury. For the queues are growing longer for the jobless and the poor. A quiet night is never more. The gangs are growing stronger and they're way beyond the law, and the riot squad is smaller than before. And from those flames a truth is plain. There will be pain, there will be pain. So out into the bitter wind those little children go, in peril to the icy days of winter, with shabby shoes and clothes so thin, while in the frost and snow a hallowed hall is burning to a cinder. the panels in the library, the carvings on the stairs, from the cellar to the gallery, all the furnishings and finery in the furnace to the air, and all open to the public now for free. And from those flames a children's game finds a new refrain. There will be pain, there will be pain. Steve Ashley.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you, David. And everyone else, please remember there will be pain if you don't put the names of your songs in the chat for David to compile the index. Okay, that was, we've had two quite sad songs. I suspect Pelagie's going to do something funny and cheer us all up, but who knows? And after Pelagie, it will be Graham.
Yeah, thanks, Amanda. Yes, this is a bit lighter. I worked for this family firm. Body, body, body and body. The four directors were everybody, anybody, somebody and nobody, who were all sons of Billy Body, the founding body, the late body who's now a dead body. But everybody knew there were financial problems. Nobody knew where the money went. It was anybody's guess. The shop steward Peabody thought it should belong to everybody, and that upset somebody. You will never guess what this firm made. Bodies, car bodies, bus bodies, fire engine bodies, tractor bodies, lorry bodies, red lorry bodies, yellow lorry bodies. There were red and yellow lorry bodies all over. Everybody's sons worked there, but they were all nobodies. Somebody's daughter thought she was somebody, but she was anybody's and everybody's. Who hadn't been on the body with her? And there was absolutely nobody who hadn't been on the body with her, according to all the busybodies. The end came over a 2-minute job that wasn't done. It cost the firm millions. Everybody knew it needed doing. Anybody could have done it. Somebody was off sick, and nobody bothered. Me, I wasn't going to do it. It's not my job. I'm just a bodyguard. Anyway, my name's not Body. It's Soul, Rebecca Soul. I'm just trying to keep body and soul together. But I'm not the only arsehole on this firm. And I told everybody, I'm not going to do anybody's, dog's body's job for nobody. Now everybody's out of work, and I'm hoping somebody will find me a job with anybody. That's Collapse of a Family Firm, Roy Blackman. Thank you.
Well done. Hey, very witty.
Well, what with Go, Stay and Fetch last week and all the bodies this week, it leaves you reeling. Okay, Graham Baldwin is next after that, and thank you, Pelagie, for that. Graham Baldwin is next, and then one from Liz Philipson, please.
Well, now for something completely different. This is a 50-year-old song called The Winter Song, so it's somewhat seasonal. When winter is shadowy fingers first pursued you down the street, and your boots no longer lie about the cold around your feet. Do you spare a thought for the summer, whose passage is complete, whose memories lie in ruins, and whose ruins lie in heat? When winter comes howling in, when the wind is singing strangely, blowing music through your head, and your rain-splattered windows make you decide to stay in bed. Do you spare thought for the homeless tramp who wishes he was dead? Or you pull your bedclothes higher and dream of summertime instead? When winter comes howling in, the creeping cold has fingers that caress without permission, and mystical crystal snowdrops only aggravate the condition. Do you spare thought for the gypsy with no secure position, who's turned and spurned by the village and town and the magistrate's decision? When winter comes howling in, when the turkey's in the oven and the Christmas presents are bought, and Santa's in his module, he's an American astronaut. Do you spare a thought for Jesus, who had nothing but his thoughts, who got busted just for talking and befriending the wrong sorts? When winter comes howling in, when winter comes howling in.
I can go down the dark. If you drink.
Great stuff, Graham. You had Steve Andisaw up dancing. It can't be bad. Okay, so now two Sharps regulars in a row. We'll have Liz Philipson followed by Racker Donnelly.
Hi. I'm going to do, the song I'm going to do was written in 1829, which was when the first public building in Newcastle was gaslit. It was the first gaslit public building, and it was the church tower, the clock tower of St. Nicholas Church, and written by Robert Nunn. And the song, he wrote the song the same year. And the song, I better tell you a tiny bit about it because there's quite a lot of Geordie in it, I think. And I never tell whether people understand Geordie or not. But basically, it's this guy goes down the street, lit clock tower, he looks up, he's drunk. He's completely drunk, and he tells everybody the church is burning down, tries to get them to get water, and he gets told that he's been daft because it's a moon. And the people have caught a moon and put it on the clock tower. And the rest of the song talks about that. So. Hey, hey, Dick, what's kept you all this time? I fretted Sarah about you. I thought you'd fallen in the Tyne, and what would I do without you? Oh, Dolly, Hinny, sit you down and hear the news I fetch for tune. The Newcastle folks have catched a moon and made it a bonny Clockface. You know St. Nicholas Church, me pet, where we were tied together. That place I know I'll not forget, and thou'll forget it never. 'Twas then, Jewel, I saw the neat as I come staggering down the street. I thought it queer on a pitch black night to see a fiery Clockface. The folk they stood in crowds about, they cried, how, what's the matter? I glowered at last, I gave a shoot for them to get some water. The church is on fire and very soon that bonny place it will burn down. Me a fool, says a chap, it's a bonny moon they've catched and made it a Clockface. On Monday when I gan to work, I'll surely tell war banksman, if we had sick a leet at night, would never break war shanks, man. Me Morris and I'll gone to the tune and say if we can catch a moon, if we can only coax one down, we'll make it a bonny Clockface. Then if we get it down the pit, we'll have it stuck on a pole, man. It'll tell us how our time goes on, likewise to you a coal man. So now, pet, let's come to bed and not forget our Uncle Ted. Next morn we'll tell our Uncle Ted about the bonny Clockface. The tune was originally written to a tune called The Coal Hole, but those of you who play instruments will have recognised, hopefully, that the title of the song overtook that title, and it's since been known as the Fiery Clockface.
I don't play an instrument, but I knew that.
Hadn't heard that one before, Liz. Thank you. The Fiery Clockface, brilliant. Okay, Racker is next with whatever it is he has for us this week, and he'll be followed by Riggy, Rackin. Racker, then Rackin.
This is a kind of tribute to a friend of mine called John Herriott. It's called Herriott the Hero, because he and I worked on a radio program for a year or so in Dublin. And one day I turned up to record. He was the presenter of the program and I was a kind of panelist on it. And to my consternation, John was nowhere to be found. So I had to present the program, and I didn't like doing that. And I discovered that he'd hit some kind of midlife crisis and shot off to Alaska to catch salmon. And this guy, I mean, he'd be more at home on a bar stool than fishing for salmon or wrestling porpoises or whatever he intended doing. So I thought it was foolish of him to go. So I wrote this thing to kind of lure him back. And it was a tricky thing to accomplish because I'm broadcasting from Dublin and he's in the Bering Straits somewhere off the coast of Russia. But believe it or not, the enchantment did actually lure him back, as you will learn. So it's about my friend John Herriott, Herriott the Hero. Herriott the hero, man without fear, obeyed unafraid the call of the squall, the siren cry of Alaskan sky, the psalm of the salmon, the moo of the moose, the coo of the caribou. Hairy Herriott, child of the wild, one to waltz with a grizzly bear and walk through dangerous Dan McGrew as if he wasn't there. Sturdy and thick as a stocky stick, our Captain Ahab, our Moby Dick, took a Yukon hike to a new Klondike with a break for wine at the Lonesome Pine. Like Cass and Nova, off to lure a lass, went John to lure a lass, can salmon. Learn oceanic lore and earn a Mount McKinley of moolah, cash galore. Oh, John, sit back and survey When, if ever, you're free of the flailing fish. In baked Alaska, spooning clam chowder up out of a bony dish by one of 3 million lakes, the woodland scene. The spruce, the deer, the bear, the wolf, and the wolverine. Sit proud, brave bounty hunter, while we poor paddies and make miserable mix, settle for Twix. Jump ship when you can, forsake your fishing smack, lugger, sampan, or cool kayak. Safe sound, and flush enough to buy a record round, rush home for Irish bull, the yakety yak. Oh, hallelujah, the man is back, arm in a sling from a salmon attack. So raise an armful of Armagnac, 3 cheers for giant killing Jack, and serious fun and wholesome crack on Ireland's holy ground. So he came home more or less intact.
Oh, well done, Rackin.
Wonderful.
Well, I'm glad you got him back. So, and whether you had any part in it, Racker, I don't know, but good that you got your wish anyway. So, Riggy Rackin is next, followed by Steve Suffet.
Well, it is that time. I will readjust my photo so it's not so blurry. Hail the blessed morn, see the great mediator down from the regions of glory descend. Shepherds go worship the babe in the manger. Lo, for his guard the bright angels attend. Brightest and best of the sons of the morning, dawn on our darkness and lend us thine aid. Star in the east, the horizon adorning, guide where our infant Redeemer is laid. Cold on his cradle the dewdrops are shining, low lies his bed with the beasts of the stall. Shepherds go worship the babe in the manger. Lo, for his guard the bright angels attend. Brightest and best of the sons of the morning, dawn on our darkness, lend us thine aid. Star in the east, the horizon adorning, guide where our infant Redeemer is laid. Say, shall we yield him in costly devotion, odors of Eden and offerings divine? If gems from the mountain and pearls from the ocean, myrrh from the forest and gold from the mine, brightest and best of the sons of the morning, dawn on our darkness and lend us thine aid. Star in the east, the horizon adorning, guide where our infant Redeemer is laid. Oh, vainly we offer each ample oblation, vainly with gold to his favor secure. Richer by far is the heart's adoration, dearer to God are the prayers of the poor. Brightest and best of the sons of the morning, dawn on our darkness, lend us thine aid. Star in the east, the horizon adorning, guide where our infant Redeemer is laid. Brightest and best of the sons of the morning, dawn on our darkness, lend us thine aid. Star in the east, arise in the dawning, guide where our infant Redeemer is laid. Star in the east. Sacred Harp.
That's our first Christmassy one. Thank you for that. Lovely words. Lovely unusual tune as well. Okay, so it's Steve Suffet is next, and then Steve Andisaw. 2 Steves in a row. Have I got that right? Yes, I have.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I just unmuted myself. Working in a 3-foot seam, I'll tell you boys, this life is not a dream. There's no joy to be found when you're 2 miles underground and you're working in a 3-foot seam. I'm doing a little dangerous thing today. I'm going to be singing a British song. So it's like bringing coals to Newcastle, I guess, literally. Let me try that again. Working in a 3-foot seam, I'll tell you boys, this life is not a dream. There's no joy to be found when you're 2 miles underground and you're working in a 3-foot seam. Up above, the weather might be fine, but you're down here where the sun don't ever shine, and you're crawling like a rat in your heart. You're wishing that you're any place except down in this mine. Ready? And it's working in a 3-foot seam. I'll tell you boys, this life is not a dream. There's no joy to be found when you're 2 miles underground and you're working in a 3-foot seam. They're acting like they're making you a gift when they pay a bloody pittance for a shift, while you're sweating out your soul for every ton of coal. There 2 tons of dirt and rock you gotta lift, and it's working in a 3-foot seam. I'll tell you boys, this life is not a dream. There's no joy to be found when you're 2 miles underground and you're working in a 3-foot seam. Bad conditions have prevailed for far too long. Join our union, boys, you know it won't be long. And together we can tell all the bosses go to hell, for our union voice is many thousand strong. I love that song. There, let's do that again. And together we can tell all the bosses go to hell, for our union voice is many thousand strong. One more time. And together we can tell all the bosses go to hell, for our union voice is many thousand strong. And it's working in a 3-foot seam. I'll tell you boys, this life is not a dream. There's no joy to be found when you're 2 miles underground and you're working in a 3-foot seam. That's a 3-foot seam, and it's traditional, but this particular version is by Gary and Vera Aspey.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve, for taking us where the sun don't shine. I heard some echoey noises there. If everybody could please check that they don't have any other devices on anywhere near the device they're using for Zoom, that would help. It sounds like we're getting some interference and it does disrupt things a bit. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, it is Steve Andisaw next, followed by Tara, or possibly Tara and Charlie. It remains to be seen. But in the meantime, Steve with goodness knows what.
Right. I'm going to sing you a song with my musical saw. But now, for various technical reasons, I have to do it 12 feet away from the microphone. Otherwise, the internet might explode. So this, I think, is one of the most beautiful songs ever written. And obviously it was written by an Irishman. Once in the dear dead days beyond recall, when on the world the mist began to fall, out of the dreams which rose in happy throng, lo, to our hearts love sang an old sweet song. And in the dusk, when fell the firelight gleam, softly it wove itself into our dream. Just a song at twilight, when the lights are low, and the flickering shadows softly come and go. Though the heart be weary, sad the day and long, still to us at twilight comes love's old song, comes love's old sweet song. Even today we sing love's song of yore. Deep in our hearts it dwells forevermore. Footsteps may falter, weary grow the way, still we can hear it at the close of day. And to the end, when life's long shadows fall, love will be found the sweetest song of all. Just a song at twilight, when the lights are low, and the flickering shadows softly come and go. Though the heart be weary, sad the day and long, still to us at twilight comes love's old song, comes love's old sweet song.
Thank you, Steve. I've not heard a musical saw for ages, since last time I heard Casper come to Sharps. And yeah, I've just realised that your surname may not be exactly what it seems, Steve and his saw. So anyway, brilliant stuff. Tara and possibly Charlie, you're up next, followed by Bob Wakeling.
How do you follow that? Well, it is actually Tara on her own today. And I was inspired. I was listening to the End of Sharps from last week, and Martin Nail sang See Me Dance the Polka. And I thought, well, how about I see some of you dance the polka? So how about I sing you a polka? A little, an Irish, I think Dennis Murphy's polka. And I'm going to follow it with a Ronde Saint Vincent, which is a Breton dance, except that I'm going to sing a Welsh song that works for that dance there. And then I'm going to, on the third one in the little medley, is a Strathspey. So get your dancing shoes on. Pete and Maggie, I don't want any excuses. I want you dancing the polka at the back there at this from the first one. Oh, good excuse. Anybody wants to get up and dance, you're welcome. And I'm going to try and sing it. Let's go. So. Towdum diddle didum towdum da didum didum towdum diddle didum towdum da didum da towdum diddle didum towdum da didum didum towdum diddle didum towdum da didum da towdum tiddlum tum tiddlum tum tiddlum tiddle-diddle-dum, towdum tiddlum, tum tum tiddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-dum, towdum tiddlum, tum tiddlum, towdum tiddlum, tiddle-diddle-dum, towdum tiddlum, tum tum diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-dum, towdum diddle-dum, didum, towdum da-didum, didum, towdum diddle-dum, didum, towdum da-didum, da, towdum diddle-dum, didum, towdum da-didum, didum, towdum diddle-dum, didum, towdum da-didum, da, towdum tiddlum, towdum tiddlum, tum tiddlum, tiddle-diddle-dum, towdum tiddlum, tum tum tiddle-diddle-diddle-dum, towdum tiddlum, tum tiddlum, tum tiddlum, tiddle-diddle-dum, towdum tiddlum, tum tum tiddle-diddle-diddle-dum, my genny geliog, my genny go and vel on vokog, my genny geliog, my genny go and vel on vokog, my genny fancy vauriauni di gari, peccauni lonith gana di yogi, my genny fancy vauriauni di gari, peccauni lonith gana di yogi, my genny stuk, my genny headlith, my genny ved I vechen neuith, my genny stuk, my genny headlith, my genny ved I vechen neuith, my genny fancy vauriauni di gari, peccauni lonith gana di yogi, my genny fancy vauriauni di gari, peccauni lonith gana di yogi, sana nila nila nila, sana nila ragami, sana nila nila nila, sana nila vorok, sana nila nila nila, sana nila ragami, sana nila nila nila, sana nila vorok, sana nila vorok, aragami sahagami, sana nila vorok, aragami savami, sana nila vorok, aragami sahagami, sana nila vorok, aragami savami, sana nila nila nila, sana nila ragami, sana nila nila nila, sana nila vorok, sana nila nila nila, sana nila ragami, sana nila nila nila, sana nila vorok, sana nila garamanyo, aragami sahagami, sana nila garamanyo, aragami savami, sana nila garamanyo, aragami sahagami, sana nila garamanyo, aragami savami.
That was fantastic, Tara. Followed by bizarre, monstrous gargling coming through the system from somewhere. I don't know what that was. But your song, or songs, brilliant. Okay, Bob Wakeling, you have to follow that. And after Bob, could we have song or songs from Pete and Maggie?
I was exchanging emails with Llantrisant last week, and it was a bit sad when he said he'd probably done his last gig ever. So I thought I ought to sing one of his songs. This is from the 1640s. It overlaps the Diggers. These are the Ranters. Ebenezer Cott's the leader of the Ranters. Ebenezer Cott did away with sin. My body is my church, he said. God's dwelling is within. All I do is holy. Ebenezer cried, gave his loving freely, a ranter till he died. So drink a loving cup to Ebenezer, Ebenezer, he's a drinking, dancing, roaring ranter. Ebenezer cup, Ebenezer cup. A pox upon the pious and on what the scriptures teach. I'd sooner hear a tinker cast than hear a vicar preach. shameless in his pleasures, smoked and drunk and swore, embracing as his fellow creatures, beggar, thief and whore. So drink a loving cup to Ebenezer, Ebenezer, he's a drinking, dancing, roaring ranter. Ebenezer cup, Ebenezer cup. The righteous said the devil will take Cop and his kind. The devil is God's backside, said Cop, and hell's a state of mind. Women's the only heaven, marriage is the only hell. Ebenezer Cop knew it very well. So drink a loving cup to Ebenezer, Ebenezer, he's a drinking, dancing, roaring ranter. Ebenezer Cop, Ebenezer Cop. Through the streets of London, Ebenezer came, heard the hungry cries for bread. He was a soul in pain. When the nobles in their coaches passed, he charged with wild eyes, gnashed his teeth in anger, roared up to the skies. Hail, you rich and noble, you will reap soon what you sow. For the day of doom is coming that will lay the mighty low. And your property will canker, and your houses will decay, and the rust of all your silver will burn your flesh away. So drink a loving cup to Ebenezer, Ebenezer, he's a drinking, dancing, roaring ranter. Ebenezer cup, Ebenezer cup. Community in all things, Ebenezer said, the naked shall have clothing, the hungry shall have bread. The great man jails the cupbearers, the rich man starved the poor. Without property, cried Ebenezer, theft would be no more. So drink a loving cup to Ebenezer, Ebenezer, he's a drinking, dancing, roaring ranter. Ebenezer cup, Ebenezer cup. Accused by church and parliament, attacked on every side, they banned his books and burned them, and he was seized and tried. The magistrates condemned him for vile blasphemy. He pelted them with nutshells, saying, will you my judges be? To Newgate jail they took him, the ranter's dream was dead. I have no taste for martyrdom, I will recant, he said. I banish sin, but I have heard it cannot be denied. These are sins, greed, tyranny, hypocrisy and pride. So drink a loving cup to Ebenezer, Ebenezer, he's a drinking, dancing, roaring ranter. Ebenezer cup, Ebenezer cup. Ebenezer cop did away with sin. My body is my church, he said, God's dwelling is within. History disown him, his ghost they cannot kill. Haunts the rich and righteous, drunk and dancing still. So drink a loving cup to Ebenezer, Ebenezer, he's drinking, dancing, roaring ranter. Ebenezer cup, Ebenezer cup.
Thanks for that bit of history, Bob. Always good to hear you playing the guitar as well. So, Pete and Maggie are next, followed by one from Clive Wolfe, please.
We feel a bit gazumped twice already this evening. First Riggy did the song we've been practicing, which we're doing later in the week, and then Tara did a tune.
And they both did it so well.
Okay,
We're upping our game from Steve's tadpole. We have a visual aid.
Yes. This is the Hand's March to the Midden.
Thank you. A lovely little instrumental interlude. And I didn't quite get the significance of the chicken. I was expecting words to reveal it, but I think I missed the title of the song or something. Can you reveal that?
The Hen's March to the Midden.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, great. Okay, so thank you for that. And the hen. And Clive is our next performer, followed by one from John White, I think. And also, there are now sounds every time we're unmuted as if they're coming from the gates of hell, which I don't think is a great sound for a folk club or anywhere else. I'm not sure what to do about that. We may have to do some selective unmuting in the interval or something to find the culprit. I don't know. Anyway, in the meantime, Clive, followed by John White.
Fax, good Lord, deliver me. Da, 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 dee, 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 dee. Come all you loyal heroes and listen to my song, while I'll unfold composing gold that guides so many wrong. Young Mary was a servant maid, and she courted a sailor bold. He ploughed the main, much gold to gain for his love, as we've been told. Now 7 long years being past and gone, young Edmund he came home. He brought the gold to memory, and to her he did show that he had gained ploughing the main down on the lowlands low. Now my father keeps a public house down by yon beach green isle. Go there and rest the night, and you'll not be denied. I'll meet you in the morning, but don't let my parents know that your name it is young Edmund Bold, who had ploughed the lowlands low. Now Edmund he sat drinking till time to go to bed, but little was his notion that sorrow would crown his head. As Edmund he got into bed, and he scarcely was asleep, when Mary's cruel parents into his room did creep, and they stabbed him and they dragged him down to the beach below, and they sent his body floating down to the lowlands low. As Mary on her pillow lay, she had a frightful dream, for she dreamt she saw her Edmund lie, and his blood flow like a stream. So early the next morning to her father she did go, for she owned she loved him dearly, and he had ploughed the lowlands low. Oh, father, was a stranger and came here last night to stay. He's gone, her father said, no human tongue can say. Then father, the cruel father, you will die a public show for the murdering of a young Edmund Bold. He had ploughed the lowlands low. Now Edmund's cruel father neither night nor day could rest, thinking on the deed he'd done, where his guilt he did confess. He was tried at last, his sentence passed, to die a public show for the murdering of young Edmund Bold, who had ploughed the lowlands low. And Mary she goes wandering down by yon beach green isle, for to see the great big steamers and the small boats pass to and fro. For to see the great big steamers and the small boats as they pass by, they remind her of young Edmund Bold, who had ploughed the lowlands low. End.
Amanda, can I just say,
Hello.
every you know when people are talking or something, there's a light comes up around their rectangle. Well, whenever that sound comes, it's Kate Portal has got the light up round her.
Oh, Kate.
I'm not saying she's to blame, but that's where the sound is emanating from.
Thank you.
My screen.
Thanks, Jan. I had.
Yeah, thanks for telling us that. We've got an external speaker on, which I've disconnected.
Thank you, because I had just come to that conclusion myself, because I was noticing Kate appearing quite a lot. So yeah,
I thought we were muted.
I think you were muted, then you get unmuted, and there's some interference and feedback going on. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind keeping that unplugged, because you sound absolutely fine.
You can't keep us muted, can you?
No.
Carry on as well. We're fine now. Fine.
Yeah. I think if you could just stay as things are now, because it's working, so that would be brilliant. Okay. Good stuff. What's happening next? Completely lost track. John White is happening next. And after John, one from Rick Polly, please.
Right. We've had two light-hearted poems already this evening, so here's another one. It's one of the comic monologues made famous by Stanley Holloway, and it's a topical one. It's a warning not to overdo the ingredients in your Christmas pudding. So here is Sam's Christmas Pudding. It was Christmas Day in trenches in Spain in Peninsular War, and Sam Small was cleaning his rifle, the things he'd never done before, because they'd had him inspected that morning, and poor Sam had got into disgrace, for when Sergeant had looked down the barrel, a sparrow flew out in his face. The sergeant reported the matter to Lieutenant Bird then and there. Said the lieutenant, "How jolly disgusting. The Duke must be told of this here." The Duke was surprised when he heard it. He said, "I'm astonished, I am. I must make a most drastic example. There'll be no Christmas pudding for Sam." When Sam were informed of his sentence, surprise rooted him to the spot. 'Twere much worse than he had expected. He thought as though he'd only get shot. And so he sat cleaning his rifle and polishing barrel and butt, while the pudding his mother had sent him lay there in the mud at his foot. Now the sector that Sam rolled in ran round a place called Badajoz, where the Spaniards had put up a bastion, and oh, what a bastion it was. They bombarded away all the morning with canister, grape shot and ball, but the face of the bastion defied them. They made no impression at all. They started again after dinner, bombarding as hard as they could. The Duke brought his own private cannon, but that were there for the good. The Duke said, "Sam, put down the musket and help me lay this gun true." Sam says, "You best ask your favours from them as you gives pudding to." The Duke looked at Sam so reproachful. Nay, don't take it that way," said he. "Us generals have got to be ruthless. It hurt me more than it did thee." Sam sniffed at these words, kind of sceptic. Then he looked down the Duke's private gun. He said, "We'd best put in 2 charges. We'll never bust bastion with one." So he took cannonball out of muzzle. He took out the wadding and all. He filled barrel chock full of powder. Then he picked up and replaced the ball, and taking good aim at the bastion, he said, "Right, old Duke, let her fly." But cannon nigh jumped off her trunnions, and up went the bastion sky high. The Duke, he weren't half elated. He danced round the trenches with glee. He said, "Sam, for this gallant action, you cannot have your pudding for tea." But when Sam looked round for his pudding, it weren't lying there nowhere about. In the place where he thought he had left it, lay the cannonball he just tipped out. Sam saw in a flash what had happened by an unprecedented mishap. The pudding his mother had sent him had blown Badajoz off the map. And that's why Fusiliers wear to this moment a badge, which you think's a grenade, but you're wrong. It's a brass reproduction of the pudding Sam's mother once made.
Oh, well done, John.
Excellent, John. Excellent.
Always brilliant.
Wonderful stuff and nicely seasonal, John. Thank you. Okay, it's Rick Polly next, and then one from Bob Askew, please. Hello, I'm coming to you from Vancouver, Canada, on the west coast. Although my family roots are from Newfoundland. In fact, over my shoulder, for those who have large screens, you can see my kin, a cod fisherman. So I have a song about the evolution and collapse of the cod fishery. It mentions a couple of technical terms or jargon. The stage and flake. The stage is where the fish were cleaned and the offal dropped back in the salt chuck, and then the fillets of fish were put on the flake to dry. So stage and flake are the processing of the cod. And the melody will probably sound familiar because it's a very, very old 19th century hymn, has been used many times by many folks, including Victorian Christmas carols. And out along the harbor reach, boats stand dried upon the beach, ghost-like in the early dawn. Empty now, the fish are gone. What will become of people now, trying to build a life somehow? Hard times are back again. No more fish, no fishermen. No more shopping in the stores, since the fish plant closed its doors. The men who walked on trawlers' decks now line up for welfare checks. There's big for sale signs everywhere, pockets empty, cupboards bare. See it on the news at 10. No more fish, no fishermen. Once from Ship Cove to Cape Race, Port aux Basques to Harbour Grace, Newfoundlanders fished for cod, owing merchants trusting God. They filled their dories twice a day. They fished their poor sweet lives away. They could not imagine then, no more fish, no fishermen. And back before the Second War, we could catch our fish inshore. The boats were small and gear was rough. We caught fish but left enough. But now there's no more fish because the factory ships took all there was. We could see it coming then. No more fish, no fishermen. So farewell to the stage and flake. Get out for the children's sake. Take whatever job you find. Leave all friends and kin behind. There's some that say things aren't so black, that soon the fish will all come back. But who'll be here to catch them then, when there's no more fish,
there's no fisherman.
Good
Words of that are by Shelley Poston.
Good to hear a plea for sustainable fishing. In light of the Brexit negotiations over fishing, it seems kind of appropriate. Anyway, lovely, thank you. Bob Askew is our next singer, and he will be followed by Cathy Dent.
As it's come December, I want to sing a song with a tune that people associate with the season coming up. Although it was actually a folk song, but Vaughan Williams put it to a well-known carol. It's the Ploughboy's Dream, and it's really a religious recruiting song to try and get people to join the church, I think. But I like it because it seems to have a lot of sympathy for the horses. It's rather a lurid dream, very colourful. I don't know if the writer had been on the magic mushrooms. I am. I better get a tune right now. I am a ploughboy stout and bold as ever drove a team. It's 2 years since I lay in bed and dreamt this dreadful dream. And since the dream it did me good, I've put it down in rhyme, that other boys may read and sing whenever they have the time. I dreamt I drove my master's team with Dobbin, Blaze and Star before a stiff and handy plough, as all my masters are. I found the ground was baked so hard, 'twas more like bricks than clay. I could not cut my furrow through, nor would my beasts obey. Then Dobbin lay down, both Blaze and Star, they kissed, kicked and snorted sure. The more I whipped and cursed and lashed, the less my beast did stir. When lo, above them a bright youth, he seemed to stand on air, with purple wings and golden hands, as angels painted are. Give over, cruel wretch, he cried, no more thy beasts abuse. Think if the ground was not so hard, would they their work refuse? Besides, I heard thee curse and swear, as if dumb beasts could know what all thy oaths and curses meant, or better for them to go. But though they know not, there is one who knows thy faults full well, and what shall be thy after doom, another shall thee tell. He spake no more, but light as air, he vanished from my sight. And with him went the sun's bright beams, and all was dark as night. The thunder roared from underground, the earth it seemed to quake. Blue flames broke forth and in those flames a dire gigantic shape. Soon shall I make thee mine, it cried, in a voice so dour and deep, and quivering like an aspen leaf, I wakened from my sleep. Playboy's Dream.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you very much, Bob. Okay, Kathy Dent is next, and after Kathy, one from Richard Mellish, please.
Right, November songs are all over, so I'm on to Christmas and December songs now. Hanky's at the ready, this one's a real tearjerker. The time has come for festivity, for Christmas pudding and revelry, but I passed a house just the other night. I heard a little voice so clear and bright. There are no lights on our Christmas tree. We must not spoil our dad's TV. No party games, no mistletoe. Just whistle Wenceslas last and out you go. Just once a year I become a square. I love to feel the tinsel in my hair. I love to sing the songs of days gone by, but me and Dad, we don't see eye to eye. There are no lights on our Christmas tree. We must not spoil our dad's TV. No party games, no mistletoe. Just whistle Wenceslas last and out you go. The box of crackers from our Uncle Hal still lie unopened upon the shelf. Dad has forbidden, but we're hoping he won't notice one more bang in Laramie. There are no lights on our Christmas tree. We must not spoil our dad's TV. No party games, no mistletoe. Just whistle Wenceslas last and out you go. Some carol singers came to our door. I've never seen Dad so mad before. He grabbed the leader by his coat and tried to ram the lantern down his throat. There are no lights on our Christmas tree. We must not spoil our dad's TV. No party games, no mistletoe. Just whistle Wenceslas last and out you go. When I grow up to be a man, there'll be no television in my plan. With joy and laughter, my house will ring. I never want to hear my children sing. There are no lights on our Christmas tree. We must not spoil our dad's TV. No party games, no mistletoe. Just whistle Wenceslas last and out you go.
Oh, Kathy.
A story of inhuman treatment. Inhuman, I tell you. Thanks, Kathy. Okay, Richard. Yeah, welcome back to performing. We have not seen you perform here for a few weeks, I think. So, given that you're Sharp's regular, welcome back. And after Richard, another Sharp's regular in the form of Paul Carter.
My trouble is I've got so many songs I know or used to know or could sing, but just don't feel like. I would look at my list and I think, oh, don't fancy that, don't fancy that. This is a well-known song, but not the well-known version of it. It's the Bold Princess Royal, but it's a tune from Bob Roberts, and it's an extra verse that I got from a recording of somebody called Maurice McPhillips, about whom I know absolutely nothing. The 14th day of February we sailed from the land in the Bold Princess Royal bound for Newfoundland. We had 40 brave seamen for a ship's company, and boldly from the eastward to the westward sailed we. We hadn't been sailing scarce days 2 or 3 when a man at our masthead strange sails he did see. They came bearing down on us for to know what we wore, and there at their mizzen black colours we saw. Oh Lord, cried our captain, what shall we do now? Here comes a bold pirate to rob us, I know. Oh no, says our mate, that shall never be so. We'll shake out our rig, boys, and to harbour we'll go. Ah, but up came the pirate, and he came alongside. Through a loud-speaking trumpet, whence come you, he cried. Our captain being up, boys, he's answered him true. We're come from fair London, and we're bound for Peru. Then come heave up your courses and bring your ship to, for I have a long letter to send down by you. Yes, I'll heave up my courses and I'll bring my ship to, but it'll be off some harbour, not alongside of you. So we ran up our topsails to gansels too, our royals and our staysails, and away from him drew. We set taut our backstays with a heart and good cheer, and away from that pirate we surely did steer. And he chased us to windward all night and all day. He chased us to leeward, but he couldn't get no way. He fired shots after us, but none did prevail, and the Bold Princess Royal soon showed him her tail. Oh Lord, cried our captain when the pirate had gone, go ye down to your grog, boys, go down every one, go ye down to your grog, boys, and be of good cheer, for whilst we have sea room, brave hearts never fear. That'll do.
We'll see what the main sounds like.
Great song, Richard. Some very odd effects going on with your sound. You started off normal volume, then you began fading away, and then you came back with a bang. So I'm not sure if there's something you need to adjust for next time, but the bits we could hear were good.
I think I'll have to listen to the recording and then try and work out from that.
Yeah, do. We'll see what comes through in the recording as well. Anyway, thank you. And over to Pal, and then one from Ray McLaughlin.
Okay, Tom Paxton wrote this, and I had the privilege of seeing him sing it at the Marquee in about 1966 or 7 or something. It's got a chorus you can all join in with. It's a lesson too late made of sand, made of sand. In the wink of an eye, my soul is burning. In your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind. As we walk on, my thoughts are tumbling round and round, round and round. Underneath our feet the subways are rumbling, underground, underground. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind. You got reasons aplenty for going. This I know, this I know. Oh, the weeds have been steadily growing. Please don't go, please don't go. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. I know that was the last thing on my mind. As I lie in my bed in the morning, without you, without you. Every song in my breast lies a burning, without you, without you. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind. You know that was the last thing on my mind.
Beautiful, Pat.
Okay, well.
Lovely stuff, pal. What's the last thing in my mind? Who's next? Okay, yes, it's Ray McLaughlin next to close the first half. Then we'll have, please, very, very, very brief parish notices and a short break. Over to you, Ray.
Okay, this is another so-called Coals to Newcastle song, or at least Coals to the Northeast. It's the Durham Lockout by Tommy Armstrong. Well, in our Durham county, I am sorry for to say that hunger and starvation is increasing every day. For the want of food and coal, we know not what to do. But with your kind assistance, we will stand the struggle through. I need not state the reason why we have been brought so low. The masters have behaved unkind, as everyone will know. Because we won't lie down and let them treat us as they like. To punish us, they've closed their pits and caused the present strike. The pulley wheels have ceased to move, which went so swift around. The horses and the ponies too are brought from underground. Our work is taken from us now, they care not if we die. For they can eat the best of food and drink the best when dry. The miner and his mara too each morning have to roam, to seek for bread to feed the hungry little ones at home. The flour barrel is empty now, that true and faithful friend, which makes the thousands wish today this strike was at an end. Oh, we have done our very best as honest working men. To let the pits commence again, we've offered to them 10. The offer they will not accept, they firmly do demand. 13.5%, or let the colliery stand. Well, let them stand or let them lie, to do it as they choose. For 13.5% we ever shall refuse. They're always willing to receive, but never inclined to give. Very soon they won't allow a working man to live. The miners of Northumberland we shall forever praise, for being so kind in helping us these tyrannizing days. We thank the other counties too that have been doing the same. For everyone who hears this song will know we're not to blame. That's it. Thank you.
Well sung, Ray.
Good one to end the first half with. Thanks for that, Ray. So we will now have very short parish notices, please. We have a lot of singers every evening, and we've been struggling to get everyone on recently. So if the parish notices could be kept as short as possible, that would be fantastic. And they're off.
Unmute. Right. Sorry, I was just having a little problem with unmuting myself there. Right, yes, here's
We also can't see you. Ah, we can now.
I can see myself.
Can see you now. Yeah, you were just a black screen. Fire away.
How curious. My internet connection has been bad all evening, so I don't know what's going on particularly. Right, yes, here's a traditional song that is in the old Penguin book of English folk songs, but was only collected, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, and all in the southeast of in Kent, Surrey, Sussex area. And how does it go? And it's a warning. It's enough. The moral comes at the beginning. Come, all you good people, give an ear to me song. I'll tell you a story that won't take me long.
Yeah, well, he did say it wouldn't take him long.
Yeah, I think he might be gone actually. He's frozen. Martin, are you still there? Because it's not working. Last thing we heard was that you tell us a story that wouldn't take you long, and you've told us none of it, so I guess you're living up to but I think it's the internet connection. And I think we're gonna have to move on. Possibly Martin has left Zoom. He just disappeared from my screen anyway. So hopefully we may be able to get back to Martin if he returns to the session. Otherwise, it's over to you, Sheila. And after you, one from Jan Ayres.
Right, this is not at all Christmassy. This is another of those songs that I usually only sing in music hall shows. Some people might think this was a stridently feminist song, but in fact it was written for Vesta Victoria by two blokes. So there. So it's a sort of War of the Sexes song rather than anything else. It does have a chorus. I haven't sung this for ages, but I think I know it. Usually sing this with a piano. So girls, you'll stay single. Girls, you'd stay single, that's if you were wise. Men are the spiders and you are the flies. If you knew as much about men as I know, you wouldn't run after and pamper them so. When you're so young, you're deceit that you can't see. Wait till you've found out the bounders like me. They're pretty objects to love and obey. When you get older, you'll see things my way. But excuse me, I can't... Damn it, sorry. I knew this in the kitchen. Isn't that just the way of it? Excuse me, but I can't help using this term. Where woman's concerned, why, a man is a worm. Girls, you're thinking too much of the men. If you knew what I know about men, you'd look before you leap. Men are all right when they're fast asleep. Oh, I've had some, so I ought to know. If you can't see through them, I can. It's something that's stuck in a 30-bob suit, that's a man. Man. Married men, they're the worst bounders by far. They're more in demand than the single chaps are. A man, when he's married, you'll tell him with ease, the girls have worn all the nap off of his knees. I know the bounders, I leave them alone. While you are out shopping, they're out on their... While you are out shopping, they're out on their own. Take any married man starting for biz. Notice how loving and crafty he is. He kisses dear wifey goodbye on the mat, with a rose for another girl stuck in his hat. Girls, you're thinking too much of the men. If you knew what I know about men, you'd look before you leap. Men are all right when they're fast asleep. Oh, I've had some, so I ought to know. If you can't see through them, I can. It's something that loves every girl but his wife, that's a man. Man. No doubt there are several girls here tonight. I've lost the tune, that's ridiculous. No doubt there are several girls here tonight whose husbands treat them in a way far from right. They talk of love and they call you their pet. I know their game, for I fell in their net. Don't let them play hanky-panky with you, for they'll wear the trousers as sure as you do. Girls, to be happy, their games you must stop. Don't let it be them that keep you on the hop. They're selfish, deceitful, and mean as can be. They'd collar the blessed milk out of your tea. Girls, you're thinking too much of the man. If you knew what I know about men, you'd look before you leap. Men are all right when they're fast asleep. Oh, I've had some, so I ought to know. If you can't see through them, I can. It's something that's gone when there's work to be done. That's a man, man, man.
Very sexist.
Something like that. Written by two men, as I said.
I've never heard that, Sheila. That was excellent.
Well, I hope none of the men here are offended by that. And of course, if you wish to retaliate in song at a later stage in the evening, feel free. But yeah, great song, Sheila. Okay, Jan Ayres is next, followed by Dave Harbord, please.
Okay, well, this full moon is called a frost moon because it is the time of the first frosts. And we've had a couple so far. So this is Barry Temple, Jackie Frost. Old Jackie Frost is knocking at the door. Don't let him in, no way, sir. Old Jackie Frost been here before. Don't let him in, no way, sir. Whether you're rich or whether you're poor, he'll come a knocking all around your door. Give him a chance, he'll be in for sure. Don't let him in, no way, sir. Summer's past and the autumn's gone. Don't let him in, no way, sir. Days are short and the nights are long. Don't let him in, no way, sir. Hear him knocking, now don't complain. See his scars on the window pane. Comes the winter, comes the man. Don't let him in, no way, sir. See the sheep in the winter snow. Don't let him in, no way, sir. All forlorn, nowhere to go. Don't let him in, no way, sir. Coat so thick, the sun don't shine. Oh, how I wish that coat was mine. Black and hot, so warm and fine. Don't let him in, no way, sir. See his breath freeze in the air. Don't let him in, no way, sir. Old and cold are everywhere. Don't let him in, no way, sir. Head bowed low, he'll make you pray for the warmth and pleasure of a summer's day. When old Jackie Frost be far away, don't let him in, no way, sir. Spring will rise and come again. Don't let him in, no way, sir. Jack in the green will bring his friends. Don't let him in, no way, sir. Fight the fight, defy the foe. Old Jackie Frost, he'll have to go. He'll be back sooner than you know. Don't let him in, no way, sir. Don't let him in, don't let him in. Don't let him in, no way, sir.
Thank you, Jan. Good seasonal warning there, literally about the seasons. So it's Dave Harbord now, and he'll be followed by Chris Lamb.
Aye, well, sometime in the not too distant future, somebody have to pay for all the cash that they're throwing around at the moment over COVID. And it won't, you could be sure it's not Amazon, who only paid 3% tax last year. I was thinking of offering to pay 3%, see what they said about it. Anyway, this is a song by Ed Pickford. It's an excellent, it wrote it in 1972, I think it was. Come, all you good workers who toil night and day, for by hand and by brain to earn your pay, who for centuries long past, for no more than your bread, have bled for your country and counted your dead in the factories and mills. In the shipyards and mines, you've often been told to keep up with at times that your skills are not needed. They've streamlined the job, and with stopwatch and slide rule your pride they have robbed. But when the sky darkens and the prospect is war, who's given a gun and then pushed to the fore and expected to die for the land of your birth when you've never owned one handful of earth? You're the first ones to starve. You're the first ones to die. You're the first ones in line for that pie in the sky. And always the last when the cream is shared out. For the worker is working when the fat cat's about. Aye, it's all of these things that the worker has done, from tilling the fields to carrying a gun and yoked to the plough, since time first began, and always expected to carry the can. Ed Pickford.
Well done, Ed Pickford, and well done, Dave Harvard, also. Okay, so it's Chris Lamb coming up next, and after Chris, one from Bernie Dermody, please. I'm not sure if I've said your name right, but hopefully you know who you are. Over to you first, Chris.
Okay, I don't usually sing a Christmas song this early in December, but the Sheffield carols are already well underway in the Sheffield area, and Kathy mentioned the London version, which is also happening. And this is, in any case, rather too downbeat a song to count as really as a carol, and certainly not appropriate for the festive season, I think, a little bit too macabre. The mistletoe hung in the castle hall, the holly branch shone on the old oak wall. The baron's retainers were blithe and gay, keeping their Christmas holiday. The baron beheld with a father's pride his beautiful child, young Lovell's bride, and she with her bright eyes seemed to be the star of that goodly company. Oh, the mistletoe bough, oh, the mistletoe bough. I'm weary of dancing now, she cried. Here tarry a moment, I'll hide, and Lovell be sure thou'lt the first to trace the clue to my secret hiding place. Away she ran, and her friends began each tower to search and each nook to scan. And young Lovell, he cried, where dost thou hide? I'm lonely without thee, my own dear bride. Oh, the mistletoe bough, oh, the mistletoe bough. They sought her that night, and they sought her next day. They sought her in vain till a week passed away. In the highest, the lowest, the loneliest spot, young Lovell sought wildly, but found her not. And as years went by, their grief at last was told as a sorrowful tale long past. And when Lovell appeared, the children cried, see, the old man weeps for his fairy bride. Oh, the mistletoe bough, oh, the mistletoe bough. At length an old chest that had long lain hid was found in an attic. They raised the lid. A skeleton form lay mouldering there in the bridal wreath of that lady fair. Oh, sad was her fate. In sportive jest, she hid from her lord in that old oak chest. It closed with a spring and dreadful doom. The bride lay cast in a living tomb. Oh, the mistletoe bough. Oh, the mistletoe bough. And a happy Christmas to you all.
Nothing like a bit of seasonal misery.
People have problems.
I do like that song. Thanks, Chris. So our next singer is Bernie Dermody, who I think is a first-time comer to Sharps in Isolation and possibly to Sharps at all. So welcome, Bernie.
Yep.
And after Bernie, one from Gwyneth, please.
Okay, I'm in Ireland here, of course, and I'm going to sing a song by a Dublin guy called Frank Hart. It's called The Hour in Exile. 53 and the factories are closing. There's not enough work to go round. My brother, he stuck to the farming, and I headed out for London town. South Camden and I'm in my lodgings. The room is both dirty and small. The landlady's simple and friendly. She makes up for the damp on the wall. She makes up for the damp on the wall. 7:30 a.m. in the morning. Myself and the lads on the road. And the noise of the dozer is deafening. And the work is a sight to behold. But the sob is a gift sent from heaven. It will bide me until I get paid. 'Twill pay for the rent and the drinking, and leave me a bit for to save. And leave me a bit for to save. Well, I've worked for both Lang and for Wimpy. I've been sent from Billy to Jack. I've worked till there's nothing left in me, and I've worked till I've broken my back. Come payday, I'm out on the batter. There's not a lot else for to do. I've sent a few pounds to my parents. Now the rest is for me and for you. The rest is for me and for you. Come Christmas, I'm standing in Euston, my brown leather suitcase in hand, and the 9:30's waiting to take me back over to sweet Inishman. And it's out beyond Watford and Rugby. By Chester I've had my 8 beer. Past Bangor and the cold straits of Menai. And finally Holyhead Pier. And finally Holyhead Pier. Well, you'd think the whole country of Erin was waiting to get on the boat, for there's accents from Antrim to Kerry, from Westport to the high hill of Hope. And in no time we're into Dunleary, with the dawn rising clear in the sky. I am on the last leg of my journey. It's hello to the fair Iron Isles. It's hello to the fair Iron Isles. When there's great jubilation and laughter, it's true that there's no place like home. With all of my friends and relations, but too soon I will have to be gone. For there's not enough work in this country there's not enough land to go round. So thousands of others just like me, I am heading back for London town. I am heading back for London town. Sinead.
Wow.
Don't let this be your last.
Thank you.
Well sung, Barney. Thanks for joining us this evening. Okay, over to Gwyneth now, and after Gwyneth, one from Rich Galloway, please.
Well, I'm going to go Christmassy, but really it should be after Christmas, but rather than traditional carols, there aren't that many others I know. King Farim. King Farim sat amusing all alone. There came a blessed Saviour, and all to him unknown. Oh, if you come out of Egypt, man, one thing I fain to know, whether a blessed Virgin sprung from a Holy Ghost. If this is true, good man, that you've been telling to me, that the roasted cock do crow 3 times in the place where we do stand. Oh, it's straightway the cock did fetch and feather to their hand. 3 times that roasted cock did crow on the place where we do stand. Joseph, Jesus, and Mary were travelling for the west. When Mary grew tired, she might sit down and rest. They travelled further and further, the weather being so warm, till they came to some husbandman a-sowing of his corn. Come, husbandman, cried Jesus, throw all your seed away, and carry home your ripened corn that you've been sowing this day. If anyone should ask you whether Jesus did pass by, you can tell them Jesus did pass by, just as your seed was sown. King Farim said to his amen, your labour and mine's in vain. It's full 3/4 of a year since these his seeds were sown. For to keep your wife and family from sorrow, grief, and pain, keep Christ in your remembrance till the time comes round again. Thanks.
Good stuff, Gwyneth. Great to hear that, actually. Okay, Rich Galloway is next, followed by Jean Woolard.
All right. Yeah, for me, a local song, Battle of Antietam. Oh, hearing aids aren't working. That's weird. Okay, whatever. 'Twas on the field of Antietam where many a soldier fell. It's where occurred the story which now I'm... Start that over, sorry. Let me check my hearing aids. This is weird. Says they're working, but okay. That's better. 'Twas on the field of Antietam where many a soldier fell. It's where occurred the story which now to you I'll tell. The dead lay all around me, we all together lay, for we had had a fearful fight upon the field that day. As I lay there musing upon the cold damp ground, my knapsack for a pillow, my blanket wrapped around, and as I lay there musing, I heard a bitter cry. It was, Lord Jesus, save me and take me home to die. It was my eldest brother. Just 3 years ago I left my home and kindred for the state of Ohio, not finding any other work to which I might apply. I bound myself apprentice, my fortune for to try. It was then I was conscripted and sent into the field, not having any other hope, but I must die or yield. So with many another boy I marched away that night, and this has been the 10th time that I have been in fight. I thought the boy that shot me had a familiar face, but in the battle's fury 'twas difficult to trace. I thought it was my brother Jay, if him I could but see, I'd kiss him and forgive him and lay me down to die. I quickly ran up to and heard his story o'er. It was my long-lost brother who lay weltering in his gore. As I spoke of our loved ones left behind and soothed his fevered brow, he whispered, my dear brother, I can die happy now. Then quickly as a slumbering babe his fluttering eyelids closed, I saw him sink with shortening breath to death's long last repose. And with many a tear and sad farewell I scooped a narrow grave, and there he sleeps beneath the sun by Antietam's rippling waves.
Assuming I don't do it properly.
Thank you. I've not heard that one before. Great story. Okay, so Jean Woolard is our next singer, followed by Simon Prager. And we didn't get to hear Simon last week, and there's several people here who we didn't get to hear last week. So I'm going to prioritise I'm going to make sure that everyone who didn't get to sing last week will get to sing tonight. But there's probably a few people who are not going to make the cut just because of time and for no other reason. But please come back if that happens to you. Anyway, over to you, Jean, and then Simon.
Thank you very much. This one mentions an incident that happened in November, but it reminded me today because the water was going over the jetty at Broadstairs, up one side and over and down the other side, and someone who obviously wasn't local had parked in the car park and the car sort of disappeared. Right. In 1896, Miss Webster left a will from Rutherford's up Birkenhead, a lifeboat to be built, a Carvel-built Southwriter made of Bermutique, 12 oars, number 2 rig sail, and a length of 40 feet. Francis Forbes Barton was the name that vessel bore. She saved 100 drowning souls and brought them safe to shore, and brought them safe to shore. The slipway by the harbour was home at Broadstairs town, launching 2 marine guns boom into the Channel foam. Braving storms and tempests, she battled with the tide, and to lifeboat 399 so many owed their lives. Francis Forbes Barton was the name that vessel bore. She saved 100 drowning souls and brought them safe to shore, and brought them safe to shore. Drawing only 3-foot draught, careless of the break, all that wind and wave could bring, she braved for others' sake. Her station closed in 1912, no haven for her keel. They turned her willing timbers to the good winds off North Deal. Francis Forbes Barton was the name that vessel bore. She saved 100 drowning souls and brought them safe to shore, and brought them safe to shore. The Polka and the Valserlies that wild November night called for aid upon the sands, so helpless was their plight. Bonnie Adams and Will Hoyle made haste to haul her to, though broken by the heaving swell, she took off all the crew. Francis Forbes Barton was the name that vessel bore. She saved 100 drowning souls and brought them safe to shore, and brought them safe to shore. Sold from service Colne and Thames, midstream moored at Kew, she made a home for a riverman, settled to her due. Came a fast and flooding tide, snapped the ground chain back. She bore the strain of 60 craft before her foredeck cracked. Francis Forbes Barton was the name that vessel bore. She saved 100 drowning souls and brought them safe to shore, and brought them safe to shore. Patched up in a Union berth, again she paid the price. Still barge crushed her wooden heart, careless of the ice. She rests at Ramsgate Harbour, waiting for repair. She rescued many drowning souls, now who will rescue her? Francis Forbes Barton was the name that vessel bore. She saved 100 drowning souls and brought them safe to shore, and brought them safe to shore. Francis Forbes Barton.
Really nice.
Well done, Jean.
Good song.
Kieran, I didn't know Kieran had one.
Good song, thank you, Jean. Good to hear you. And interesting story as well. Okay, it's over to Simon Prager, and then for contrast, Declan Coyne.
Okay, this is a piece which comes from Blind Blake, who was an absolutely astounding ragtime guitarist, who I noticed, I was reading about him today, who died at 38, which is horrible. And I recently, somebody pointed me at a website on YouTube where there's a girl from somewhere, it's either Sligo or Mayo, I'm up there somewhere, called Maureen. And apart from playing this piece, she's also a wrestler and a boxer. She takes part in All-Ireland contests. And she's 13 years old and she plays it better than me already. So I predict a future for this girl. Look her up, Maureen, but it's spelt Celtic style. It's called Police Dog Blues. All my life I've been a traveling man. All my life I've been a traveling man. I'm standing around doing the best I can. I ship my trunk down in Tennessee. Ship my trunk down in Tennessee. It's hard to tell about a man like me. Met a gal, I couldn't get her off my mind. Met a gal, couldn't get her off my mind. She passed me up saying she didn't like my kind. I'm scared to bother round her house at night. Scared to bother round her house at night. She got a police dog spoiling for a fight. Is rambling when he gets the chance. Name is rambling when he gets the chance. He leaves his mark on everybody's pants. I guess I'll travel, guess I'll let her be. Guess I'll travel, guess I'll let her be. Before she sets her police dog on me. That's it.
Well done.
Great guitar stuff going on there, although the top of your guitar was disappearing into the Zoom background, so that was an interesting effect. Okay, anyway, Declan Coyne is next, and then I'll do a song after Declan.
Okay. Am I with you there? Yeah. Okay. I'm a bit nervous about singing this because I haven't sung it for about 30 years. The first rural bass singer in Ireland to be recorded was a guy called Pat Beads, and he lived in this area. He came from this area, and this was the first song that he recorded. It was on the 25th of April 1937, and it's called Kate from Baltimore. I sing it to a different air, and I sing the last verse just to get back at Sheila from earlier on. I'm going to sing the last verse, which Pat Beats didn't do. Maybe he would have been kind, I don't know. When I was young and full of fun, like many's a sporting blade, I used to walk and oft times talk with many's a comely maid. That is the way I've heard them say that I spend my days of yore. But I found out late I'm in love with Kate from the town of Baltimore. Now Kate, my love, she is like a dove, so handsome and so free. 3 times a day I've heard her say that she loved no one but me. 'Tis after this we would have a kiss. Sure, I loved her more and more. I would freely die without a sigh for Kate from Baltimore. 'Tis her father Frank that I may thank for being in this sad state. He could not endure me being so poor, for to marry his daughter Kate. He said to me, young man, said he, your folly now give o'er, or this very night I will take your life in the town of Baltimore. I went to Kate for to relate my sorrow and my woe. She said to me, Ere John, said she, there's no relief, let's go. If I were you, I would enlist his anger to avoid. And besides, says she, I'd like to be a brave young soldier's bride. Not being content, away I went and joined the 98. I'm enlisted now, she has broken her vow. Fare thee well to my love, Kate. The note she wrote, sure me heart near broke when I read it o'er and o'er. I'm married to one, he's a farmer's son, near the town of Baltimore. All you young men, take my advice and don't be led astray. Don't ever mind the female kind or listen to what they say. They'll tell you this and they'll tell you that. 'Tis the same thing o'er and o'er. They'll curl their hair and they'll leave you there like Kate from Baltimore. There you go.
Well sung, lovely.
Lovely stuff, Declan, and you did get your revenge on Sheila there. Anyway, I'm going to sing now, after me, a song from Maureen from Vancouver or in Vancouver, or actually surname Vancouver, I can't remember. Anyway, I'll sing, and this is a cheerful song about aging from the singing of Willie Scott, by way of Alison McMorland. Oh, but the years run fast awa, like the Kelvin to the Clyde. Send on its bonny Cowan banks a woody for my bride. Mine dear lass, sae sweet and fair, sae artless and sae young. When love was all the grief we kent, and ye my only care. Time wears awa, time wears awa, and when I'll let us be, it stole the wild rose frae your cheek, and the blithe blink frae your ee. When woods were green and flowers fair, and ye were all mine, I little reckoned what years would bring a poor toil and pain. Some waeful hours they flap their wings, dark shadows o'er our lot. Sin like twa cushats ower a glen, we strayed in this dear spot. Time wears awa, time wears awa, and when I'll let us be, it stole the wild rose frae your cheek, and the blithe blink frae your ee. The voices of her happy days steal on her dreams by night, and cherished memories rise and glow with their departed light. But still the birds and burnies sing their wildered melodies, as in the golden dawn of youth, when we were young and free. Time wears awa, time wears awa, and when I'll let us be, it stole the wild rose frae your cheek, and the blithe blink frae your ee.
Yeah.
Awesome, Amanda.
Lovely, Amanda, lovely.
Thank you very much. So Maureen, it's over to you, and after you, a song from David Jones, please.
Thank you. And yes, the photo behind me is just off the coast, West Vancouver. So we're going to Hogmanay, of someone thinking back about a celebration in New Year's Eve. The day we went to Rothsale. One Hogmanay at Glasgow Fair, there was me and myself and several mair. We all went off to have a tear and spend the nicht in Rothsale. We wandered through the Broomilaw, through wind and rain and sleet and snaw. And at 40 minutes after 12, we got the length of Rothsale. A Durham-a-doo, a Durham-a-day, a Durham-a-doo, me daddy-o. Durham-a-doo, a Durham-a-day, the day we went to Rothsale. A soldier lad named Ruglan Glen was regiment lying at Barra Hill. Gaed off with a tenner to get a jill in a public house in Rothsale. Said he, I think I'd like to sing. Said I, you'll dave nae such a thing. He said, clear the room and I'll make a ring and I'll fetch them all in Rothsale. A Durham-a-doo, a Durham-a-day, a Durham-a-doo, me daddy-o. Durham-a-doo, a Durham-a-day, the day we went to Rothsale. In search of lodgings we did slide to find a place where we could bide. There were 32 us inside in a single room in Rothsay. We laid down to tak our ease when somebody happened for to sneeze, and he wakened 500,000, ye please, in a single room in Rothsay. A darma-doo, a darma-day, a darma-doo, me daddy, oh. Darma-doo, the darma-day, the day we went to Rothsay. There were several different kinds of bugs. Some had feet like dyers' clogs, and they sat on the bed and they cocked their lugs and cried, hooray for Rothsay. And new, says I, will have to lope. So we went and joined the Band of Hope. But the polis wouldn't let us stop another nicht in Rothsay. A darma-doo, a darma-day, a darma-doo, me daddy, oh. Darma-doo, a darma-day, the day we went to Rothsay.
Yay, haven't heard that for ages.
Hooray, 2 Scots songs in a row. Things are on the up. Thanks, Maureen. Okay, David Jones is next, and after David, one from Elizabeth Block, please. Can't hear you there, David. I think you'll need to do your introduction again.
There we go. That was a great song, by the way. I love that song. This is a song by Gordon Bok. It's called Hearth and Fire, and it's sort of quite suitable for this time of year. So, hearth and fire be ours tonight, and all the dark outside. Fair the wind and kind on you, wherever you may bide. And I'll be the sun upon your head, the wind about your face. My love, upon the path you tread, and upon your wanderings peace. Wine and song be ours tonight, and all the cold outside. Peace and warmth be yours tonight, wherever you may bide. For I'll be the sun upon your head, the wind about your face. My love, upon the path you tread, and upon your wanderings peace. Hearth and fire be ours tonight, and all the birches bare. Oh, that the wind we hear tonight would find you well and fair. For I'll be the sun about your face, the wind about your face. My love, upon the path you tread, and upon your wanderings peace.
Lovely song, David.
Just like a blessing, really. Lovely. Okay, so who's next? Have I said? Did I say Elizabeth Block? I've lost, yeah, I did. Okay, so it's Elizabeth and then Gemma Kawaja, please.
I did this yesterday. I'm going to do on, what was it, Herga's Castle. I'm going to do it again. This is a song that you're not going, I'm sorry to say, you won't find on the internet. It's by my friend Rick Spire. He recorded it, but he doesn't have any more copies of the CD. And people should know it and learn it and sing it. Called Harmony Road. I remember sitting on my daddy's knee, and I recall how good it felt when he sang to me. Sometimes we'd sing together, and I'd have to let him know that my world fell into place down on Harmony Road. Oh, Harmony Road, you give me direction, you help ease the load. Oh, Harmony Road, it's you I've been traveling wherever I go. In music, seeds of love were sown in two-part harmony, planted deep within my soul forevermore, you see. And the years have flown on by since then, with memories that I've stowed, souvenirs of times I spent down on Harmony Road. Oh, Harmony Road, you give me direction, you help ease the load. Oh, Harmony Road, it's you I've been traveling wherever I go. Somewhere in this town tonight, there's a voice that's raised in song. It could belong to a gypsy asking you to sing along. Or it could belong to a long-lost love whose heart you once did hold. Both are waiting for you now down on Harmony Road. Oh, Harmony Road, you give me direction, you help ease the load. Oh, Harmony Road, it's you I've been traveling wherever I go. So here's to all of you, my friends, who write your words in rhyme. May your music guide you through the tough and hard times. And some fine day we'll meet again, wherever the four winds blow, just beyond the rainbow's end, down on Harmony Road. Oh, Harmony Road, you give me direction, you help ease the load. Oh, Harmony Road, it's you I've been traveling wherever I go. Oh, camino armonia, me guías, me ayudas, mi peso llevas. Oh, camino armonia, te viajaré toda la vida.
Yeah, definitely a song that needs a bit more airtime. Thanks for bringing it here. So, Gemma, haven't seen you for ages. Great to see you back here and looking forward to hearing you sing. After you, it will be one from Wendy, please.
Thanks, Amanda. It's nice to be back. I had to take a job as a delivery driver because I lost all my freelance work, and sometimes I have to do like 4:30 in the morning shifts. So that's why I've not been here, because I have to go to bed at about 6 o'clock when I'm working early. So that's why I've not been here, and I've missed you all with all of my heart. So I will, what will I sing? I'll sing this one. It's 7 long years since my true love left me. It's 7 long years since he comes back and marries me. I lie in my bed and I often wonder. I lie in my bed and I often pray. I pray, my dearest God in heaven, bring my true love back home to me. As Mary lay sleeping, her love came creeping to her window, so slowly, slow, saying, "Rise up, Mary, my lovely Mary. Rise up, love, and let me in." Oh, who is this? Who is at my window? Who is keeping me from my night's rest? It's not my father, it is not my mother, who is keeping me from my night's rest. 'Tis only I, your own true lover. Open the door and let me in, for I am weary from my long journey, and I am drenched to my very skin. So Mary rose and put on her clothes, and to her window she did go, where she spied her own true love Willie, his cheeks as white as the lily snow. She opened the door with the greatest pleasure. She opened up and let him in, saying, "If you're my young man, how you've changed your colour. You're not the young man I used to know." How they sat talking and went a-walking, till the grey cock began far, far away I have to go. Oh, Willie dear love, please don't leave me. My Willie dear, don't go back to sea. Oh, Willie dear love, oh, please don't leave me. Won't you stay home here with me? I must away, I can stay no longer. Far, far away I have to go, and when I'm gone, Lord, please pray no longer, for nevermore will I come home to you. Oh, Willie dear, where are those blushes that you wore so long ago? Oh, Mary dear love, the cold clay has changed them, for I am the ghost of your Willie. Thank you.
Fabulous. Beautiful.
Beautiful stuff, Gemma. Great to hear you again. And I hope you don't get any more early shifts and you can come and join us more often. So Wendy's our next singer. Then I actually, on my written list, I have Tom Reed, but Tom, your hand's gone down. So I don't know if that means you don't want to sing or you've just had a Zoom glitch. If you could let me know, that would be great. But it's either going to be Wendy, then Tom, or it's going to be Wendy, then James Eagle.
Okay, I changed my mind about what I was going to sing because I think that I ought to be a contrast. So this is a rather bitter song by Gillian Welch. Okay. Didn't I hear somebody talking? Didn't I? Didn't I hear somebody talking? Didn't I? Didn't I hear somebody talking? Down in the alley, saw you were walking. Didn't I hear somebody talking? Didn't I? Now didn't I spend all my money? Didn't I? Oh, didn't I spend all my money? Didn't I? Didn't I spend all my money? Buy a tailor-made suit for your honey. Didn't I spend somebody talking? Didn't I? Now didn't I save all my kisses? Didn't I? Oh, didn't I save all my kisses? Didn't I? Didn't I save all my kisses? Make your bed, wash your dirty dishes. Didn't I hear somebody talking? Didn't I? Now didn't I try and make you happy? Didn't I? Oh, didn't I try and make you happy? Didn't I? Didn't I try and make you happy? Wave goodbye to my mom and my pappy. Didn't I hear somebody talking? Didn't I? Oh, didn't I hear somebody talking? Didn't I? Oh, didn't I hear somebody talking? Didn't I? Didn't I hear somebody talking down in the alley? Heard you were walking. Didn't I hear somebody talking? Didn't I? Oh, didn't I? Oh, didn't I?
Yeah.
Well sung. Yeah.
Great stuff. Felt a bit angry. Okay, so Tom has confirmed that he does want to sing, which means it's Tom and then it will be James.
Thank you, Amanda. Okay, last week I was a miserable sod, so I decided to do something a bit more cheerful. I apologise to that. I sang this a couple of months ago, but I'm going to have a go at it. I thought I wouldn't have to ever do it again, but since we're locked down again, I thought I'd give it one more outing and then hopefully it's past its sell-by date. So this is called The Virus. Well, here I am all on me own in total isolation. I'm sick and tired of sitting here in navel contemplation. So I thought I'd write a little song to end all me frustrations and stop myself from going round the bend. To get up in the morning is the height of my ambition, and Weetabix or cornflakes is a life and death decision. Then it's up the stairs and down the stairs and round the kitchen, just to get me daily exercise. The virus, determined to destroy us. The sneaky little bastard is crawling round inside us. It's like some horror story on the telly or the wireless. The bloody thing is trying to kill us all. I used to be so slim and trim from working in construction, and all the ladies said I was a master of seduction. But now I'm nearly 20 stone in need of liposuction, and me love life is going down the drain. I'd love to climb a mountain or go hiking through the jungle, but I'm locked down in London town making apple crumble. Sometimes I sit all day and watch the tumble dryer tumble while discussing quantum physics with me cat. Some people miss the golf course, the cricket or the tennis, but me, I miss me folk club and a creamy pint of Guinness. But all the bloody pubs are closed, they're going out of business. Oh Lord, I think I'm gonna die of thirst. The virus, determined to destroy us. The sneaky little bastard is crawling round inside us. It's like some horror story on the telly or the wireless. The bloody thing is trying to kill us all. This morning when I woke up, I was feeling quite dejected, but the news has just come over and it's better than expected. For the president just told me to inject with disinfectant. Now I'm shooting up with Dettol twice a day. Oh Boris, I know you long for glory. If you will come and save me, I promise to vote Tory. You'll be forever famous in folk song and in story, and you'll put all Winston Churchill in the shade. I can't go out to meet me friends without disaster looming, but lately things are looking up since I discovered Zooming. Now every night I strut me stuff and watch the ladies swooning, It's nice to know I haven't lost me touch. We'd like to love you, COVID, but you're really so preposterous, and all of your behaviour shows you'd love to kill a lot of us. But don't you know, if you succeed, just don't give a toss for us. You wouldn't last a minute on your own. Oh, COVID-19, you're worse than any bad dream. You're so unlike your older brothers, COVID's 1 to 18, for they stayed at home in Wuhan eating Mrs. COVID's chow mein and never bothered anyone at all. The virus, determined to destroy us, the sneaky little bastard is crawling round inside us. It's like some horror story on the telly or the wireless. The bloody thing is trying to kill us all. So stay home on your own, do your talking on the phone, make bread, paint the shed, practice standing on your head, listen to the birds sing, learn to dance the Highland fling, and never let Corona get you down. Well, I think it's time to finish up me sorry little ditty. It isn't very clever and it isn't very witty, but I must get back to wallowing in sorrow and self-pity, for I think I've got the isolation blues. The virus, determined to destroy us, the sneaky little bastard is crawling round inside us. It's like some horror story on the telly or the wireless. The bloody thing is trying to kill us all. The
Fabulous. Magic.
Magnificent, magnificent.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Fabulous stuff, Tom. Definitely well worth rolling out again. And you never know, we might get another chance with if there's a third wave after this one. Anyway, to close the evening, we'll have James Eagle in just a minute. I am sorry for the few people who had their hands up, their names down, and have not made it on because of time. But please come next week, and you will get on next week. I'll make sure of it. So if you haven't put the name of your song in the chat, please do that for David to compile the index. And other than that, thank you to Livy for muting, everybody for singing, dancing, playing saws, playing other instruments, and anything else that you did that made this evening. Okay, over to you, James, to close the evening.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to sing, so the fact that settles that. I'll do a song of farewell with nice joiny in bits where I can imagine all the harmonies you would be doing if this was in the bar at Cecil Sharp House. I'm standing on the dockside wall, sailing on the evening tide, waiting for my skipper's call, and time ashore, bright hours ashore, time ashore is over. And Sally's watching as I go, sailing on the evening tide, tear-filled eyes, 2 kids in tow, and time ashore, bright hours ashore, time ashore is over. But what of her when I'm Iceland bound, sailing on the evening tide? Will she be true or gad around, and time ashore, bright hours ashore, time ashore is over? For I can't recall when she was mine, sailing on the evening tide, for more than 3 days at a time, and time ashore, bright hours ashore, time ashore is over. I'll think of her when the nets go out, sailing on the evening tide. My heart is sure, but my head's in doubt, and time ashore, bright hours ashore, time ashore is over. For when you're trapped on the northern sea, sailing on the evening tide, it's 1,000 miles of uncertainty, and time ashore, bright hours ashore, time ashore is over. Oh love, oh life, I could lose you all, sailing on the evening tide, through following this cursed trawl, and time ashore, bright hours ashore, time ashore is over. I'm standing on the dockside wall, sailing on the evening tide. My skipper finally made his call, and time ashore, bright hours ashore, time ashore is over. Time ashore, bright hours ashore, time ashore is over.
Well done.
Great nugget.
Whose song was it, James?
To send us sailing off into the night, and hopefully see you all next week.
Yeah.
Have a good week.
Yeah. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you all.
Another
Thank you, Lily.
wonderful
Thank you,
evening.
Amanda.
Cheerio.
Thanks, everyone.
See you all next week. Bye.
I'll see the boys.
The song was, I think the song was by Bill Meek, for whoever asked that.
Yeah, you're right.
Bye
Cheers,
all.